Aloha everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on your mat. My name is Nathie and I'll be guiding you in your practice today. I'm really glad that you made it onto your mat. So just keep it up. Make sure you have your water. Get into something comfy. Maybe have your blocks and I'll meet you on your mat. Aloha. So just make sure you have your water. Anything else you may need to support yourself in your practice, it's completely okay to use blocks, sitting on blanket, a folded blanket, or even having a belt or a strap with you in case we use these items today in our class. So let's get into a comfortable seat. You can sit on your heels just like so, or you can just sit cross-legged in Sukhasana. And we'll find ourselves in a comfortable seat here. Maybe if it feels good to just close your eyes, having your hands land on your thighs. And without any effort, start noticing the quality of your breath. Have you been breathing more deeply in towards the belly, or do you feel like you've been breathing higher up in the chest? And notice the pace of your breath, the lengths of your inhalations and exhalations. Let's bring our attention to our minds and what we've been ruminating about, or things we've been thinking about. And maybe we can decide to take all these thoughts and place them on a shelf and put them away for a while as we dive deeper into our practice. To give ourselves the space, the room internally to just enjoy and be in this moment right now. Settling deeper into the hips, feeling the sit bones either rooted down on your block or the mat, or into your heels. And bring your attention to your shoulders and your neck. Maybe here, parting the teeth, relaxing the jaw, maybe even opening and closing the jaw a little bit, becoming actively aware of how you're feeling in the jaw. Start rolling your shoulders gently back and down to coax your shoulders down and away from the ears. Start deepening the breath here. Take a deep inhale and exhale it out the nose. If it feels better for you to exhale out the mouth, that's completely okay as well. Some of us may have breathing issues with our noses. And then switch directions with the shoulder rotations. Good. And let's come onto our hands. Hands, wrists below shoulders, knees below hips, about hip width apart. If you were in Sukhasana or sitting on your sit bones, come into tabletop. Let's find ourselves into a neutral tabletop here. And without doing anything else, we're just going to take a deep breath into the lower belly. Fill it up, expand the belly, and exhale it out. And just drawing the navel into the spine here. We're not flexing, we're not doing anything with the spine. We're a neutral spine, but we're starting to activate the core. Every time you exhale, maybe lengthen the exhalation as you draw the belly button into the spine even more firmly. And then tuck the toes underneath the heels and just send the hips back into the heels for a pouncing child's pose. Extend the arms forward, forehead onto the mat or a block. Take a deep breath here. Exhale it out. Again, as you inhale, expand the belly into the thighs. And release. Now, inch your fingers just a little bit more forward, activating the arms, tenting your fingers, and lengthening the sides of the body. Just imagine the muscles along the spine lengthening, the space between the discs lengthening, opening up. Keep breathing here. Really diving deeper into a more mindful breath. And we'll use this mindful breathing throughout the practice. And then release the palms back on the mat. Inhale, pull yourself up into a tabletop. And then turn the right fingers towards your right knee, still on the palm of the hands, and just sway forward and back here. You can bring your hands closer to your knees for an easier stretch into the inner wrist, the right wrist. Keep the fingers wide open here. We're also stretching the toes and the heels. And then turn the fingers back forward and switch hands. Swaying forward and back, kind of stretching the inner wrists, even the muscles leading into the forearms. Breathe deeply into that left wrist. And then turn the fingers back towards the front of the mat. And then flip the right hand onto the top of the hand, fingers pointing towards the right knee, and just sit back into the heels and come back into tabletop, just like that. Now we're stretching the outer wrist. Good. And then bring that hand back on the mat and then switch hands. Still breathing into the toes and that left outer wrist. Notice if you've let go of your core. Try and strengthen the core still, keeping it firm. Good, and release that hand down on the mat. Untuck the toes, knees together, shins together, feet together. Sit back into the heels, lengthen the arms forward here. Take a deep breath. Tent the fingers, lengthen the arms. Exhale, release the hands back on the mat. And let go of the arms. Take a deep breath into the lower belly. Expanding the breath through deep into the lower back. Exhale, relax the chest into the thighs. Good. Inhale, pull yourself back up onto all fours. Knees hip width apart, wrists beneath shoulders. Open your fingers wide, feeling the knuckles of the index and thumb really pressing into the mat. Tuck the toes, and then just hover the knees off of the mat here for a count of 3, 2, 1. Drawing the belly button into the spine. And then exhale, send your hips back and up for downward facing dog. In your initial downward facing dog, just pedal the feet here however you need to with your breath. You can keep a generous bend in the knees or a micro bend in the knees to start with here. Just becoming mindful of the connection between your hands, the fingers, all the way up to the tailbone. Then come to stillness. Take a deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen the tailbone up and away from you as you press out of the mat with all 10 fingers. Internally rotate the elbows, so the elbows are facing down towards your mat to frame your upper back here. And draw the belly button into the spine as you send the chest closer to your thighs. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, heels down closer to the mat. They don't have to touch as long as you are mindful of that sensation in the back of the thighs here. And just imagine your whole body, the line of energy from the tailbone to the fingers, just lengthening up towards the sky. Feel all your body rising from the hips. Inhale, heels up, bend the knees, look forward, step between the hands. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins, your mat blocks or your upper thighs. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees generously here. Hold opposite elbows. For our first forward fold, we're just gonna let ourselves hang into ragdoll. Your legs, they have you, they're holding you, so just allow the full lengthening of the spine here with gravity. Coming back to our breaths. Allowing the deep sensations to fill our bodies. Noticing how we feel. Maybe just relax the head here and the neck. You can say yeses and nos. You can even sway side to side if that feels good to you. And then when you're ready, inhale, hands back down on the mat, lengthen the spine into your half lift. Send the weight into the ball of the feet. You can keep your knees micro bending here, not to hyperextend the legs, the knees, and then exhale, fold. With knees generously bent, inhale, press out of the mat with all the feet. Bring your arms overhead, look up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do this again. Sweep the arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Lengthen the crown forward. Exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees, step back into your high plank here. Take a deep breath into the high plank, maybe swaying forward and back onto the ball of the feet. Noticing how that feels. And then lower the knees and we'll lower all the way down to the belly. Keep your elbows tucked into your sides. Untuck the toes. Press into the feet. Inhale, baby cobra. So pull yourself forward, lengthening all the body before you bring yourself up. Exhale, lower. 2 more times here. Inhale, baby cobra. Lift the kneecaps. Squeeze the shoulder blades and keep the shoulder blades down and away from the ears. Exhale, lower. This time as you inhale, focus on strengthening the core. Belly button into the spine, strong glutes. Exhale, lower. Good. On your next inhale, hands underneath shoulders, press yourself up onto your hands and knees, tuck toes. Exhale, down dog. And then just pedal the feet here with your breath. We'll flow a couple of more times like this. Come back to stillness. Inhale, heels up. Bend the knees, look forward, hop or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms up. Reach, strong core. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, hop or step back into high plank, lower the knees, lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck toes, inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, lower. 2 more baby cobras. Lengthen forward out of the crown of the head, relaxing the neck. Inhale, up again. Press the top of the feet into the mat. Inhale, press yourself up to tabletop. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, heels up. Bend the knees, hop or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, all the way up, reach. Feel the size of the body stretching. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Feeling the breath, feeling the heat building. Inhale, half lift, crown forward. Belly button drawn into spine. Exhale, plant the hands, hop or step back into high plank. Option to lower the knees down or come all the way down halfway. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take 2 deep breaths here, nourishing breaths. Strong down dog, so really draw the belly button into the spine, sending the chest closer to your thighs. Relax the neck. Notice where you're gripping. Maybe you're gripping in the neck right now, so just try and relax the neck, looking directly past between each of the legs. Strong upper back. Good. Inhale, heels up, bend the knees, look forward, hop or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, rise up all the way. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. So here we'll just come into a bit of standing stretches. Send your weight into the left leg here. And then peel the right heel off of the mat and just bring your knee up into a 90-degree angle. And just balance here for a second, hands to heart, breathing deeply here. Notice if you're leaning on one side of the left foot. Maybe your weight is going into the arch. Try and strengthen the arch, sending the weight into the outer edge of the foot, feeling all the toes on the mat without intensely gripping in the mat. You can bend that bottom knee a bit to help you stabilize. Feel the power coming out of the earth into that left leg. Strong left glute. Option here to interlace the fingers around the right thigh or shin and just draw that right knee into the chest. Keeping a length in the spine here. So if you find yourself curling forward, maybe just hold on to the back of the thigh instead of the shin. Keep your shoulders down and away from the ears. Maybe here you want to rotate that right ankle and then rotating it in the opposite direction. And then release that leg. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, hop or step back into high plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Send the heart forward, chest open. Lift the kneecaps. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, heels up, bend the knees, hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do the other side this time. Sending the weight into the right foot. Slowly peel that left heel off the mat and then lift that left knee into a 90-degree angle. Hands to heart, take a deep breath here. Once again, notice where you're sending, where your weight is going, and what's happening in that bottom foot that's contacting the earth. Feel the power in that leg. Feel the strength in that leg holding you up. And that also comes from the core, so keep the core stabilized here. As you draw the belly button into the spine, lifting out of the sternum, sending the tailbone down towards your mat. Maybe rotate that left ankle. And then switch directions. And then when you're ready, you can hold the back of the left thigh dried in or the shin and draw the knee into the chest. Keep your heart opened here towards the sky. One more deep breath. Stay here for the exhalation, all the way emptying it out. And then lower that left leg down. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the right foot back and lower the back knee down, adjusting your front foot. Maybe bring it forward just a little bit more here. We'll come into our low lunge, untuck the back toes. Inhale, lengthen out of the crown of the head. So notice if you're rounding your back in this low lunge. Maybe try and lengthen the spine, sending the heart forward. You can have your hands on blocks here, if that helps you. And then bend the front knee a little deeper. Deep breaths here. And you have an option here to either keep your hands down on the mats or your blocks, or you can bring both hands onto the left thigh, or you can have your hands overhead. Try not to slump in your hips. Everything is still activated, so you're lifting out of the hips. Your chest, your sternum is really powering up towards the sky here. And even if your hands are on the mat or your blocks, you're still not slumping in your hips. You're still feeling an activation in both hips and the core. And one way I like to feel that activation even more is pressing the ball of the left foot down into the mat towards the front of the mat, lifting my left toes. So that activates my front thigh, and then my back thigh pressing the top of the foot into the mat. I can feel the activation in all of the hip flexor and the quad. If your hands were overhead, release them back down on the mat, and then shift your hips back for half splits. Flex the left toes towards you here. Inhale, lengthen out of the fold slightly. Exhale, fold a little deeper here. Notice if the sensation in the back of the thigh is there or not. If you don't feel anything, you might have to readjust yourself. If you're feeling it very intensely, just notice if that intensity is necessary for you, or if you need to scale back. And breathe into the sensation here. Maybe the breath can help you release some of the tension, some of that intensity as we relax our nervous system. And then inhale, walk yourself forward, bend the front knee, come back into your low lunge. And then place your left hand inside of the left foot and heel toe your left foot towards the edge of the mat. And option here to just open the left knee out towards the left side of the mat. You have the other option to lower down onto the forearms or the forearms on blocks. We're coming into deeper hip opening here. Breathe deeply down towards the hips. And just notice the sensation in your left hip. On your next inhale, bring your hands back on the mat, heel toe your feet back to the original posture, and then send your hips back for half splits again. Flexing the left toes towards you. Take an inhale here, lengthen the spine, exhale, fold. Stay in your fold, take a deep breath, and then maybe point the toes down towards your mat. And then inhale, flex the toes. Again, and then inhale, point. So feel the difference when you're pointing and flexing those toes, where you're feeling the sensation in your thigh, in your ankle, in your foot. Maybe that sends the stretch in a different location in the hamstring area. Bend your front knee, walk your hands forward, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step back into your high plank. Hold your high plank here, solid board, draw the belly button into the spine. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Inhale, sway yourself forward. Exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, chaturanga, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, round yourself into a high plank. Lower down, chaturanga. As you exhale, inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. One more like this. Inhale from the tailbone, roll yourself forward in an ebb and flow kind of movement into your high plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Good. Inhale, heels up, bend the knees, hopper step to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, arms overhead. Look up, really reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant that left foot back behind you far enough and then lower that back knee. Untuck the toes. Hands framing your front foot. Inhale, lengthen the sternum forward to straighten the spine here. Take a deep breath into your low lunge here. And again, if you want to feel a deeper activation in both thighs, really press the right ball of the foot into the mat, lifting the toes up, pressing forward, and then press the top of the left foot down into the mat to activate the left front thigh. Option here to bring your arms up onto your thigh or overhead. Feeling your glutes slightly activated here. Shoulders down and away from the ears. Take deep, nourishing breaths here. And then exhale, lower the hands back down on your mat. And you can readjust your stance, send your hips back for half splits. Just make sure the back knee is pretty much in line with your left hip. So your knee is below your hip. And then flex the right toes towards you into your half splits. Inhale, lengthen out of the fold slightly. Exhale, fold a little deeper, keeping that length going. Again, you can have blocks underneath your hands. Just recognize the sensations on this side of the body. Breathe into a letting go, a sense of letting go. Relax the jaw. Relax the shoulders. And then inhale, bend the front knee, walk the hands, come back into your low lunge, sending this sternum forward. Feeling that even deeper opening in the left hip flexor, the front quad, hip, and thigh. And then exhale, send the hips back again for half splits. And this time around, we'll flex and point the right toes. And just notice how that feels. Good. And then flex the toes towards you, inhale. And then exhale, bend the front knee, walk the hands, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step it. No, sorry. And then bend the front knee, walk your hands forward, take the right hand inside of the right foot, heel toe your right foot towards the edge of your mat, and then just drop that right knee opened. You're sending yourself onto the outer edge of your right foot. You can stay here, or you can also lower your forearms down on the mat or blocks. Deep breath here. We're not here for very long. Notice how it feels into the right hip. Breathe there, sending your breath into the right hip. And then bring your hands back on your mat, heel toe your right foot back to center. And then just bring both hands back on the mat, send your right knee back to meet the left. And just sway your hips side to side here. And then come back to center, tuck the toes, exhale, down dog. Take 2 deep breaths here. Inhale your right leg up into 3-legged dog, toes pointing down towards your mat to level out the hips. Lengthen out of that back heel. So feel the line of energy from the fingers all the way to that back heel. And that right leg, lift it up with the right glute. The inner thigh is also working here. Exhale, draw the knee to nose. Inhale, sweep it back. Exhale, bend the top knee, stack the hips. Stay here for a few breaths. Try and keep both hands pressing equally out of the mat. So the weight is in both hands. One more breath here. Opening the front line of the body, the groin. And then come back to center into 3-legged dog. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee to nose. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Sweep it back as you inhale. Bend the top knee, stack the hips again. Deep breath here. Relax the neck, relax the head. Inhale back to center, reach. Exhale, draw the knee to nose. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Lift, lift, lift. Look between the hands. Step it gently between the hands. Set yourself up for crescent lunge here. When you're ready, inhale, press up into your high lunge. Take a deep breath here. Exhale, bend that front knee a little deeper as you really press out of that back heel. Strengthening the back leg and feeling the power in your front thigh as well. So the weight is in both feet. Draw the belly button into the spine. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Maybe turn the pinkies inwards slightly to feel your lats strengthen up. So the muscles right here underneath the armpits. Scissor your hips, so send the right hip back and the left hip forward. And then inhale, unbend the front knee, lift. Exhale, bend the front knee, cactus your arms. Inhale up, unbend the front leg. Exhale, bend the front knee, cactus your arms. Open the front, the heart, the pectoral muscles. Inhale up. Exhale, bend. One more. Good. Plant the hands back down on your mat. Left hand inside of the right foot. Send the right arm overhead for a twist in your high lunge here. Deep breath. Exhale. Again. Good. Plant the hands, step it back to high plank. Let's flow. Again, roll yourself forward into high plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Good. Inhale, heels up, reach the hips high. Exhale, heels down. Inhale, the left leg behind you. Reach it back, toes pointing down towards your mat here. Really lengthen that top leg before lifting it higher. So you want to focus more on length rather than height. Draw the belly button into the spine, strong core, but also use your left glute and your left inner thigh to lift that leg. Inhale, bend the top knee, stack the hips. Feel that deep sense of opening. And just look down, release the neck so you can really look past your right leg. And notice how you feel when you're pressing out of that bottom leg as well. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, knee to nose for 3, 2, 1. Lift it higher. Inhale, sweep it back into three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the top knee, stack the hips. Equal weight pressing out of both hands here. Chest really facing towards the mat. Try not to open the left side of your body to the side of the mat. Try to look down at your mat as you open that left hip. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, sweep the knee to nose and hold here. Draw the belly button into the spine, knee higher up, closer to the chest for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, sweep it back. Bend the top knee, stack the hips. Maybe you can even try looking underneath the right armpit. See if you can see your foot. Inhale, back to center, reach it high. Exhale, knee to nose, hold for 3, 2, 1. Look between the hands, gently step between the hands, set yourself up for your crescent lunge. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, bend the front knee. And then just power out of that back heel. So send the heel above the ball of the feet and lift the kneecap, lengthen that back thigh, and bend the front knee deeper. And notice if your hips are wanting to open towards the right, try and send the right hip forward and the left hip back, and feel the glutes working for you here. Lengthening the core, the sternum. Inhale, unbend the front knee, reach. Exhale, bend the front knee, cactus your arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale, up. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, up. Exhale, squeeze. 2 more. Strengthen your arms here. Your legs are working for you. Hold it here. Inhale. Exhale, lower the hands down onto your mat. Right hand inside of the left foot, twist to the left, sending your left arm overhead. Relax the neck, look sideways. Deep inhale. You can look up towards the sky, towards your top hand if that feels good to you. Come back to your breath here. Use your breath in challenging times. And then exhale, lower the hands down, step it back into high plank. We'll flow one last time. Exhale, lower down halfway, elbows tucked in. Inhale, up dog. Really open the chest. Exhale, down dog. Inhale. Exhale, heels closer to the mat. And then release the knees back down on the mat. Open the knees, mat width apart, big toes to touch. You can have blocks underneath, hands here. Or reach your hands forward. Lower the forehead down on the mat for wide-legged child's pose. Deep, nourishing breaths to start releasing the heat, replacing our breath with cooler air, and letting out the hot air when we exhale. Inhale, walk your arms to the right, and then exhale, lower down the forehead. You can grab onto the left wrist with your right hand, or side bend in your child's pose. Breathe into the left side, opening the ribs, feeling a sensation of expansion on that right side when you inhale. See if you can lengthen your exhalation by 2. So if you inhale 4, try and exhaling 6 times. Notice if you've been bringing anything on your mat that is allowing you to dive deeper into self-discovery, self-acceptance, and compassion. Whatever it is that is allowing you to move through this time, being grateful for showing up on your mat. Inhale back to center. Reach the arms forward, lower the forehead onto the mat as you exhale. Inhale, walk your arms to the left, and then exhale, release that forehead down on the mat. You can hold on to your right wrist with your left hand to open up that right side even more. Notice if you're lifting that right hip off of your heel when you're side bending. Try and send that right hip down towards your right heel as you lengthen your right arm towards the left side. Breathe really deeply. I feel this side differently. My right armpit feels more tense, so I'm breathing there to release the tension and relaxing deeper as I exhale into this pose. You're doing so well. Letting go, being in this moment now. Let's come back to center as we inhale. And then exhale, lower the forehead down on the mat. Inhale, bring yourself up onto your hands and your knees, and then we'll lower all the way down onto our bellies. Lengthen the legs out. Deep breath here. And then bring both arms forward. Extend the arms forward. And then keeping the left arm extended forward, bend the right knee, take the right hand, wrap it around the right ankle, and just draw the right heel into your buttock. Deep breath here. So it's like belly dancer's pose. Option here, you can lift the head, the left arm, and the right thigh off of the mat and hold here. Feel both hip bones and pubic bone anchored into the mat. Look down at your mat. Reach. Press the right foot into the right hand. And lower down. Release. And then bring the right arm forward. Take a deep breath here. Exhale. And then keeping the right arm extended, bend that left knee into a 90-degree angle. Sweep that left hand back, grab the ankle, and just tug that left heel into your left glute. I like to actively press my hip bone here into the mat. You can also use a belt here. If it's too intense on your knee, you can always use a belt to wrap the belt around your ankle and hold it with your hand. So you can adjust the intensity of this stretch. When you're ready, if you're ready, inhale, lift the right arm, the head, and the left thigh. Press the left foot into the left hand. One more breath. And exhale, lower. Release everything down on the mat. Bring hands underneath shoulders here. And then release your arms along your sides, palms facing up. Right cheek onto your mat. You can bend both knees at a 90-degree angle and just windshield wipe your legs side to side here. Switch cheeks. Good. We'll come back to center. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up onto your knees. Turn your legs onto one side and come and sit onto your sit bones. And then we'll just sit into a butterfly pose. So bring the soles of the feet together. The further away your feet are from you, the easier it is. So if you need to take that easy, just bring your feet further away from you in a diamond shape. Otherwise, bring them closer to you. You can have blocks behind each thigh to support you. Just breathe here, holding onto your shins or the outer edges of your feet. And then inhale, lengthen as you feel the sit bones rooted down into the mat. And then exhale, start folding forward. I sometimes like to have a block underneath my forehead here. You can also walk your hands forward, allowing yourself to completely round forward, letting the head go. We're not here for very long. We're here for another 30 seconds. Just enjoy this moment of deep opening in the inner thighs, the groin. See if there's any sensations coming up for you that maybe are less intense than before, or maybe more intense, and just breathing through it. Relax the jaw. And when you're ready, walk yourself up. Bring your hands behind your thighs, draw your knees back to center, and just give yourself a nice hug here in your seat. And then we'll find ourselves on our backs, rolling yourself onto the spine, maybe pointing the toes, extending the arms, giving yourself a nice stretch here. Really reach and release. Plant both soles of the feet on the mat and about hip width apart. And then arms along your sides or out into a T, whatever feels good to you. Inhale the left sole of the foot towards the sky. Flex the toes and then bring the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Notice how it feels right here. Maybe take your left hand, place it on the inside of the left thigh, and just gently press the thigh out and away from you. Notice the sensation in the left hip when you're doing that. And then release the hand, place your arms out into a T, and we'll just do a little bit of movement here. Take an inhale. Exhale, just drop the left foot to the right. Take a deep breath here. Exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale, drop the knees to the left so your left ankle is on top of the right thigh. Take a deep breath here. You might feel a lengthening in the right side of the hip leading into the obliques. Exhale here. Inhale back to center. And draw the right knee into the chest for thread the needle, or figure 4. Try and keep the left toes flexed towards your knee to protect your knee. Breathe into the back. Notice the contact of your back and your tailbone onto the mat. Relax the shoulders. See if you can draw the right knee in just a little bit more as you exhale. And then release the right foot down. Inhale the left sole to the sky, lengthen, and then release that foot down on the mat. We'll do the other side. Inhale, lengthen the sole of the foot towards the sky. Exhale the right foot onto the left thigh. take your right hand, place it inside of your right thigh, and just press the thigh out and away from you. And then release that hand, open the hands out into a T. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, drop the right foot to the left. Staying at exactly this position, just drop the foot to the left. Deep breath into that right side of the belly, eating into the hips. Inhale back to center. Exhale, drop the knees to the right in exactly the same position. So you're finding your right ankle on top of your right thigh. On your next inhale, draw yourself back to center. And then exhale, draw the knee into the chest. Figure 4. And then release that foot down on the mat. Inhale the right leg out, up, and then maybe place both legs up towards the sky into waterfall. I like to have my legs dangling. Some of you might enjoy having a block underneath your sacrum here in your waterfall. This is really good for calming the nervous system. If you're having anxiety or stress, this can really help. And then release the feet down on the mat. Extend your legs out for your final shavasana. Have your arms overhead to lengthen the side body if that's desired. Take as much room as you need. And find your stillness and your inner calmness. Notice maybe the sensation of release in your body, maybe some tingling that you might be feeling somewhere. How your heart center is feeling. Maybe you're just more aware of your needs. Let it all go. Release all the effort. Mahalo nui loa. Thank you so much for joining me in your practice today. Namaste.